All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Bridge to Life's career conversation with the one and only Dr. Gerald Auger, who is here going to give you some phenomenal information. We have a whole lot of information lined up for you. Don't want to take too much time on the front end, so I want to get over to Simply Cyber as soon as possible. Students, we're going to move you over to the panelists panelist role, so you can use the chat to drop your questions in the chat. We ask that everyone remain muted during this process. Use the chat for all of that extra information that you have or that you'd like to know about. And then at the end, we're going to have a chat raffle, $20 giveaways. We're going to ask a couple questions, so make sure to listen, make sure to take notes, and key in as quickly as possible. All right, so we're doing that now. If you see a prompt on your screen, just transfer over to our chat. I'm going to now pass the mic over to the one and only. He's already sharing his screen, ready to go. Simply Cyber himself, Dr. Gerald Auger. It is all yours, and we so greatly thank you for being here this afternoon.
Awesome. Thank you, Tron. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Super pumped to be here. I appreciate the invitation. I was here once before, so getting an invitation back is always flattering. It makes me feel good that you guys felt that I delivered value and I was worth your time. So thank you for the opportunity. Real quick, I just to kind of like set the stage really quickly. I do have an obligation later on in the mid of the stream, but I didn't want to gyp you guys or not value your time. So I've actually recorded, some questions came up in advance. So I went ahead and like basically answered them and gave what I think is real, actionable, valuable intelligence for you guys to consume. So I won't be here for the whole thing, but I will be here in a manner of speaking. Okay, so let's leave that to the side. So really quickly, if you don't know me, my name is Gerald Auger. They very generously refer to me as Dr. Gerald Auger. I do hold a PhD in cyber operations from Dakota State University. I have a master's degree in information assurance, a master's degree in computer science. I love education. I love learning. I've been working in cybersecurity for close to 20 years, and I will get into some details of like what roles are in the field and stuff like that. But I have been a practitioner. I've come up the whole path, and now I am a chief information security officer, which is basically the individual accountable to a business for protecting the business and maintaining resiliency through cyber adversity. Basically, you get slapped in the mouth with ransomware or something, and how long is your business down, or can they at least still make widgets even though like they can't pay payroll or something like that, right? So that's what I do. I build information security programs and I maintain them, and I deliver cyber risk reduction to businesses. Now, also, I love cybersecurity. I also am the chief content creator and really, kind of the person behind Simply Cyber, which is really grown into too many things. And if I will, I'll actually just change my screen really quickly. So this is simplycyber.io. This is my website because it started out as a YouTube channel, but I wanted to really share more with you around what I've done. So at this point, these numbers are out of date, right? It's 46,000 subs at this point, but I just can't keep up. I can't keep up with this. But I have created content that delivers skill paths, like, oh, I want here, like, check this out. Like, oh, hey, I want to be a SOC analyst. Like, I've made like 25 videos around how to be a SOC analyst. What stinks about being a SOC analyst? Well, how do I get educated to be a SOC analyst? What are hiring managers looking for SOC analysts, right? Like, that's a playlist right there. And I did it, if you have no IT background, if you're coming from the military, if you want to get into GRC, get into Red, whatever. So I have all this stuff. And also, just a whole bunch of stuff. I recommend you check it out, but also a Discord server. So Simply Cyber Discord server. And if you guys are familiar with Discord, then you know what's up. But if you're not, Discord is like a really great, what is it? It's like a utility that allows community to connect, engage, share, support each other, be inclusive. I mean, obviously all that can be used for toxic things, but what I'm seeing on the Simply Cyber Discord server and on other cybersecurity related servers right now is support and inclusion. So, really for this audience around, cybersecurity and around content creation, YouTube content creation, Instagram, Twitter, I don't get into the TikTok, so don't ask me about that. But I really am into all of this. So I feel like I have a great opportunity to share with you. Now, I also want to point out in the recorded video, I am going to give you tons of resources. There's probably 15 to 20 different resources. And I would say 60% of them are cybersecurity related to help you launch into cyber career and have the most optimized path you have. And then the other 30 to 40% is around content creation and getting started and what you need to get going right out the gate on very little to no money, and really start, getting traction. And by the way, I do have a lot of experience and I do have a lot of degrees and stuff behind my name, but just, your mileage may vary, but I've been doing the YouTube thing for 3 years now. And my last 2 jobs, I didn't have to interview for. Like, I was literally just contacted and they said, what do you want? And I said, what do you mean? What do I want? And they're like, we want you to come work for us. We know exactly what you can do because we've heard you speak. We've seen you speak. We've seen what you can do. We know you're the right person for the job. Just tell us what you want from us and we'll make it happen. Again, mileage may vary. Obviously, if you have less education at this point or less experience, it might be a little different, but my point is you can combine these things to both learn and establish yourself as a practitioner and the ability to execute on it. So it's like a very rich resume. Now, changing gears a little bit because I am trying to jam in a ton of stuff all in a short window. Let's look at this really quickly. So when we talk about information security, guys, or cybersecurity as it's called, but I guess I'm old enough. I call it information security. The game kind of changes, and there are differences between cybersecurity and information security, but just from a colloquialism, cyber is what we'll call it. There are many different roles, right? A lot of people think that you have to be like, oh, I want to hack things. I want to be like all that sizzle. I want to punch holes through walls and do elite hacksaw stuff. And the reality is that's just a small snippet of the industry. And you can make money doing that stuff. There's an entire career field around it, but it is very competitive. And I would say that functional skills on that side, which by the way is called the red side or penetration testing side or offensive security side, that side is very competitive and practical skills experience reigns supreme over certifications or like higher education type stuff. Again, it's important, but experience is the queen. What I wanted to show you here is hopefully you guys can see this. Hopefully I'm like spotlighted. And if I'm not, maybe click on me and spotlight for everyone here. Does this work? Hold on. Does that work? Okay, cool. So hopefully you guys can see me. I wanted to show you this. This is a basic org chart that I just pulled off the internet. Not all information security programs look like this, but this one has all of the elements, all of the aspects that you're going to find in most information security programs. And it provides a jumping off point for me to explain to you all the different roles, because you might find one that actually resonates with you beyond the sizzle, right? So at the top of the heap here, we have CISO, and that's not an entry level role by any means, but it's important to understand that that's the person who is like setting the tone of what the information security program does. They are asking for budget. They are reporting to management and explaining what's going on. If there's a massive issue, like an incident, they are the ones who are going to be interfacing and answering questions with like lawyers and insurance companies and all that stuff. So that's what's going on up there. The CISO falls under GRC, or governance, risk, and compliance. Now you can see in the bottom right here, it says governance, risk, and compliance. And you'd be like, how does that even work? Well, switching to governance, risk, and compliance, the GRC space is what interfaces with the business. The GRC space is the one that goes out and does security awareness training with the end users. The GRC one is the ones who, try to collaborate with the business, or if you're going to do business to business work, like Broward's going to hook on with some managed service provider and they want to understand what the managed service provider's cybersecurity posture is before they make a decision to join them. GRC people are the one who are going to go collect that information, do risk analysis, make a decision on how dangerous or not dangerous it is to move forward, or what concessions should be made. All right, so that's GRC. I will point out GRC is a great launch point, and it's the arguably, a lot of people would say the least technical of all the spaces. Moving over to the left here, you can see Security Operations Center right there in the middle. Security Operations Center, this is where your SOC analyst lives, also called, you can see on my shirt, Blue Team. They're referred to as the Blue Team. The offensive people are called the Red Team, okay? The Blue Team is where the Security Operations Center people work. These are, you can Google like SOC analyst, SOC analyst, which stands for Security Operations Center. Sometimes you'll refer to it as SecOps or Security Operations just by itself. These people typically work in shifts. They can be 24-hour, manned shifts. A lot of times there'll be third-party services that provide Security Operations Center services to businesses. So like I work at a small business. We can't afford, 15 people working around the clock. So what we do is we just give $80,000 to a company that has hundreds of people working around the clock. And we basically get a slice of that. So that's what Security Operations Center. SecOps, a lot of fun, super technical, get your hands wicked dirty. The problem with SecOps is that it typically leads to burnout and mental health issues. You can't, here's the thing, with SecOps, you're dealing with incidents and bad stuff. Threat actors typically like to strike on Christmas Eve or Thanksgiving Day or over a long weekend because they know that a lot of people are on vacation. They know that they can linger in the environment longer. They can move around without being detected. Or, I've been working at the company for 30 years. You think I'm taking Christmas Day off? I don't think so. Hey, newbie who's been here 2 weeks, you're taking the Christmas shift. I did my turn, right? It's your turn to take the worst days to work. Well, if a junior analyst has less experience and they get this massive incident on their hands, they're going to be freaking out, right? So it can lead to mental health and burnout. Plus, if you're like tracking, there's a threat actor in your environment, you're actively working to get them out or do the investigation to figure out how far they went or what they dropped and stuff like that. And then your shift's over, you might be like, no, I'm gonna keep working this. And then like you forget to eat, you forget to sleep, you're not paying attention to your friends and family, loved ones. So don't let me deter you. SecOps is awesome, but just be mindful that that is a risk of that particular one. Really quick to cover two more before I have to jump out of here. You'll see security engineering and asset security over here on the left. For every organization, guys, there's technology like firewalls, vulnerability scanners, VPNs, mobile device management, multi-factor authentication, right? A lot of this technology is IT technology, but it won't be uncommon, especially at larger organizations, for security to want to manage those tools, right? So IT, yeah, you patch and maintain the server, but the application and stuff on top of it and the deployment out into the business and, Colleen like forgets her password, who resets that, or she drops her MFA token in a puddle. We got to issue her a new one. That is work that has to be done. That's operational work, but that's just like business doing business. But you get your hands on technology. You typically feature on a specific tool set. And this is a good area if you wanted to transition from IT into security to get into, because you're already naturally doing a lot of these things and all you're doing is changing your focus to a security tool set. So that's pretty good. Also, cloud isn't on here. Cloud could fall under, I guess you could see identity and access management. That's beginning to get outside the scope of information security. A lot of businesses will have their own identity and access management, because when you get with the identity and access, it's like, are we talking about access to applications? Are we talking about access to servers at the OS level? What are we talking about access to? So typically that will have its own kind of function. But it's not uncommon for the GRC people. Remember, they interface with the business. The GRC people over there on the right, it's not unreasonable for them to set standards on how long a password should be, or if federated authentication is allowed in the environment, or what factors of multi-factor authentication are allowed. Some of you younger people in here may have recently just saw the attack on 2K Games, the video game company, and Rockstar. The ones who make Grand Theft Auto, there were the leaks. You guys probably saw that, right? That was because of a multi-factor authentication fatigue attack, because they just kept ringing the person and told them after a couple hours of banging them that they said, hey, listen, we're from IT, lying, of course. We're from IT, just hit yes or allow and it'll stop doing it. We're testing something. The person hit allow. That was a choice to implement that style of multi-factor authentication, and the weakness or attack vector was what they just did, right? So not all multi-factors are the same, and that's something that GRC would come up with, but implemented and managed by Identity and Access Management. And then just, hosted network security, you're going to be looking at that stuff. But this isn't a perfect one-for-one on how I would build my organization and org chart, but I just wanted to give you guys a spattering of different items and different elements and give you a taste for it. I did try to push as much information into this because I wanted to share that. I am going to have to leave pretty soon. I will say if you go to simplycyber.io, which is my site, right? If you go to the bottom, this is literally these little social things on the bottom here is every single way you could possibly get in touch with me. Okay. So this is my email. This is my LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Discord. If you have a question and you want to follow up with me, fire it over. Tell me you were at this talk so I will prioritize it, because I do get a lot of messages and I can't always get to them all. But for you, if you tell me you were here, I will prioritize it. I will answer it. And hopefully I'll see you on the Discord server. Colleen, Tron, thank you guys so much. I hate to just run away, but I appreciate it. And take care, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Auger. We greatly appreciate it. And you heard it. Make sure to let him know that you were here. He'll prioritize your questions, your answers. Greatly appreciate it. And I think we're going to jump right into the video, Colleen, unless there's anything else that we need to discuss or go over. After this, again, students, we're going to have our raffle chat where we're going to ask you a couple questions. Be ready to answer that. $20 giveaways. But you heard it from Dr. Auger's mouth. He's going to prioritize your questions, but make sure you let him know that you were here. Okay. And it looks like we have the video queued, ready to go. Colleen?
Continuing on, I'd love to just answer a bunch of questions that had come out prior to this meeting and kind of let that lead what we're doing. I've also provided links to all the resources that we're going to cover. So you don't need to really write them down. You can, obviously, if you want, but they'll be provided so you can follow up afterwards. Also, obviously, this is a recording, so you'll be able to go back and replay whatever sections or parts you want. Okay, so just running through the questions that were provided in advance. First question from 12th grader: would we be talking about good colleges for cybersecurity? Okay, so good colleges for cybersecurity, sure. Like, there's tons of different colleges. Cybersecurity is a new program. You can get, a major in cybersecurity. You can also do a minor in cybersecurity with a focus on like computer science or a focus on math. There's IT degrees. You could also go like a business degree, like if you're interested in kind of being entrepreneurial, like content creation and stuff like that, with a minor in cybersecurity. I will say, yes, cybersecurity degrees are awesome, and you can get wicked deep into the technical details. There is a lot of education and a lot of knowledge that is available outside of higher ed around cybersecurity. So just be mindful. And we're going to go through a bunch of those resources that you can get quality experience, quality knowledge, quality education through different vehicles. But if higher ed is your aim, definitely check out a bunch of different programs in schools. A couple things that you'll want to do, and I'll pull some up here in a second. A couple things you'll want to do is think about who's teaching the cybersecurity education. Is the cybersecurity education program its own department? Is it it's oftentimes part of the computer science department? Who are the faculty that are teaching it? Are they using adjunct faculty? So in the world of higher ed, there is adjunct faculty, and then there's like regular faculty. Adjunct faculty is typically practitioners or people who work in the industry and that are also teaching. For example, I work professionally in the industry, but I also teach at the Citadel Military College as an adjunct faculty. So with adjunct, you're getting more of that kind of practitioner experience. Some people retire and then go into academia, but just be mindful of that. So let's take a look at a couple different colleges, because the next question is, what are the best colleges that offer these programs? There's some focus on Florida. So let's do this really quickly. So this is just a website I pulled up for best programs in Florida. But what I really want to call your attention to here is NSA CAE designated programs. Okay, so something you need to know is that the National Security Agency, the NSA, They are very, very interested in funding it, in having talent come up through higher ed, come up through, like basically graduating and entering the workforce and coming to work at the NSA. The NSA does a lot with cybersecurity, a lot with, intelligence and stuff like that. So they are heavily invested and interested in that. So what they've done is the NSA has come up with these certified academic education programs, NSA CAE. Let me see what that is. Center of Academic Excellence. Okay, so why do you care about this? Well, the NSA basically blesses and is influential in designing the curriculum for this program. For example, I got my PhD from Dakota State University in cyber operations. That entire program was written and developed in collaboration with the NSA. All right. This can also help you long-term, like if you want to get into the NSA, going through one of their accredited programs, you're going to inevitably interact with people who are either working at the NSA or tangentially work with people at the NSA, which can be good long-term, okay? So I just want you to be mindful of this accreditation. And here are just some schools that show up as of, whatever this website is. So if you're looking in Florida, if you're looking anywhere and you're really serious about a sick, well-done cybersecurity program, look for that NSA accreditation. It doesn't mean if it doesn't have it, that the program is terrible, but this is an indicator that it is going to be quality. Another thing that you may want to consider is this thing called CCDC. It is National Collegiate Cyber Defense Competition. Okay, think of it as like sports, but cybersecurity sports. Okay, like mathletes or that type of thing, like academic competitive gaming. What I want to call your attention to is I don't have links up here right now, but basically University of Central Florida has competed and they won the 2022 national competition last year, right? Or this year. And they have placed high year over year. So I don't know much about University of Central Florida's program, but the fact that they are producing national, competitive champions in cybersecurity competitions would lead me to believe that this program is not only excellent, but the faculty at this program is also excellent, right? Because the faculty would inevitably be coaches on the team, training them correctly, all this stuff. So it depends on what level you want to get into the cybersecurity space. But I would definitely think that University of Central Florida would be a great one to consider, among others. But all of these are going to be good. All right. So what's the next question? What's the best public university in Florida? Again, I'd rinse and repeat on what I just said. I don't know which of these are public and which of these are private. It's an easy Google search. I'm not going to, do it right here for the sake of time. But I would look at this and then just filter on private public. All right. The next question: what are the best courses to take if you are not sure if this is an area that would be interesting to you? Okay, that's a fair question. Okay, so there is a lot of learning opportunity for you that is really interesting. And I'll pull it up here in a second. The one thing that I would argue is that not all cybersecurity jobs are super technical. So there's an entire segment of information security called GRC, Governance, Risk, and Compliance, that is as least technical as you're going to get, although it's not void of technical. So if you don't like technical stuff, if you don't like IT or whatever, maybe cybersecurity isn't good for you, but at a minimum, you need to know things like how two computers talk to each other, how the internet works at a very basic level, because that's how criminals and threat actors and nation state threat actors operate to attack us from, overseas, from anywhere, and, attacking Teslas with like little devices and stuff like that. Like, you have to understand how systems communicate with each other. Now, What I would encourage you to do is check out SANS Cyber Aces. This is sans.org/cyber aces. This is a free service, okay? And there's 3 modules. You could probably bang these out in, I don't know, a few hours, okay? I want to call your attention. Operating systems and operating systems and networking, very important. So this is how a computer works, and this is how computers talk to each other. Module 3, you can skip if you don't have time, simply because it's more about like IT administration and not necessarily required for cybersecurity. But these 2 will give you a foundation, right? So you spend a couple hours, you get a little bit of a foundation if you need it, right? If you're not super technical, or maybe you just take it to refresh yourself. Okay, so do this, right? Just to get your baseline. And then you can do things. Again, I'm trying to help you understand is this a good field for you, okay? So you said courses in here, but I would encourage you to do what I'm about to show you, okay? So there's different learning platforms that are widely available. This one right here is called Try Hack Me, okay? There's other ones like World of Haiku, Haiku Pro, Hack the Box, just to name a few. But looking at Try Hack Me, they have learning modules, right? And they have them actually set up like learning paths, right? So red teaming, intro to cyber, junior pen tester, cyber defense, etc., complete beginner. Here's the deal. What I would suggest to you is take those basic courses I just told you about, a couple hours, then jump in here. This is free, okay? You can do intro to cybersecurity or complete beginner, okay? Maybe one of those 2. Then you can begin to, at this point, you should know, like, okay, this is interesting or this is not interesting, right? So that's your first decision point. Is this interesting or not? Would you like to learn more? Okay, yes. Now, within our industry, there are different kind of job roles or capabilities, right? That they map to capabilities for what a program needs. Red teaming is really the hot sizzle one. It's where you break into systems. It's where you punch through walls and break down doors and install stuff and do really cool, fun stuff. If that sounds interesting to you, you can check out the red teaming one or junior pen tester. Penetration testing and red teaming are very similar in the fact that of like what you're doing. You may even want to check out the junior pen tester just because red teaming is typically more advanced pen tester, but you can see there's 64 hours of content here on the junior pen tester, 48 hours on the red teaming one. Okay. If you're interested in defense, maybe you don't want to be the hacker, you want to kind of like man the gates and play defense, you can check out the cyber defense. All I would say is whatever it is, you can do Try Hack Me. And I should say this will be a blend of educational modules like what you would normally get in a classroom, as well as virtual machines that you will set up and then you will either break into, exploit, hack, or maybe you'll defend them, maybe you'll look at logs. Like this will give you access to really understanding what the job role is and then experiencing kind of what the day-to-day work is, right? At that point, question from 12th grader, I would argue that you would have a good idea at this point if this is an area that would be interesting to you because you have foundation and you are experiencing kind of the day-to-day stuff, okay? Again, same with World of Haiku and Haiku Pro, I'll send that stuff. Haiku and Haiku Pro World of Haiku is more, it's very fun, but it's more set on learning Linux and learning offensive security stuff. So it's a little bit limited. The Haiku Pro, they actually have very similar to Try Hack Me in that they have fun offensive, defensive, and then forensics type stuff. All I'm trying to tell you here is that by using some of these resources, the only way you're going to know if this is a good field for you, I can sit up here and talk and talk and talk and tell you how awesome it is, and I love it. But the only way for you to really know if it's a good fit for you is to get in there and get your, roll your sleeves up and get dirty. Here's the thing. Here's the reality, okay? Yeah, the field pays well, and we'll talk about that in a minute. There's tons of job opportunities, at least, well, that's a topic of discussion, but if you don't want to get in and do these things, if you like are like, oh my God, like I got to do this thing he told me about, like you do it, like you do it for like 15 minutes and then you're on your phone, or you do it for like 10 minutes and you open YouTube and start looking at something else, or you got Netflix playing at the same time, then like be real with yourself. It's not interesting to you, right? So you gotta be honest with yourself and find something that gets you excited, that you have passion for and that you want to put in the time and effort. I will tell you this, cybersecurity as an industry, it's always changing. As soon as we come up with defensive things, blue team, as soon as we come up with defensive, controls that stop or slow down or mitigate the impact of what criminals are doing, they come up with something else and start hitting us with that. So it is a constant game of cat and mouse. On top of that, defensive again, there's this thing called the defender's dilemma. A threat actor, a criminal, they only have to find one open door, right, to break in. I have to protect all the doors to prevent them from breaking in, right? So it's a lot of work, and it's constant. Again, so I just want to be honest and fair up front to give you expectations on what it's like in cybersecurity as an industry. So going on to the next question here, can you land a cybersecurity or IT job during high school if you have experience from an 11th grader? Yeah, so absolutely. I will tell you this. Cybersecurity specifically, like right now, experience is king, right? If you can do something, like I'm in charge of my own program. If I need help with something, can you do it? Yes or no? Like I don't care if you're, 35, 15. Can you do what I need you to do, right? Because what I need to do is have you take care of that while I go focus on another fire or another problem or another budget meeting or whatever it is. But I need you to be able to do that. So having said that, you may have a little bit of challenge, landing a full-time role. But if you do the try hack me stuff like I showed, or you go get certifications, which there's no age minimum on certs, right? And we'll talk about certs here in a second. There's no age minimum on certs. You can begin to develop essentially a professional resume. You can show expertise, you can show these things. And then if you want it, you could get experience by going to like a nonprofit or your church or whatever and saying, hey, like I'm learning cybersecurity. I have this plan on how I can help you. Let me do an audit or something like that. I will tell you this, you can get work. I've had, internships when I was young. I will tell you this, in cybersecurity, if you think about it just for a minute, what we are saying is cybersecurity has access to almost every single system. We are the line of defense protecting the organization. Very sensitive stuff. And if we make a mistake, it can be devastating. Because of that, reach that we have and the severity of making mistakes that we have, it can be challenging to allow somebody young or somebody inexperienced that full carte blanche level of access. That is something that you'll have to deal with, okay? But I will say, if you can kind of come up with suggestions or ideas for contained projects that you can deliver to an organization as an 11th grader, as a 12th grader, like just put your age aside. People don't put ages on resumes, right? Put your age aside. Don't say like, oh, hey, like, just let me do cybersecurity at your business. Be more like, hey, like, I'd love to help, audit your firewall. I would love to help you execute a PCI compliance audit, or I'd love to fill out a security questionnaire. I'd love to interview. I'd love to just shadow. Or, hey, IT director or whatever, I'm really interested in cybersecurity. Here's my resume. I was wondering, just for 3 months, is there a project that a junior analyst could support that I could be involved with as the junior analyst that could help you achieve some mission. Remember this, whether you're applying for a job fresh out of college or if you're trying to get an internship or something like this, two things. One, you're trying to sell yourself, right? You're trying to sell yourself. And two, you're trying to solve someone's problem. Don't, and I mean this with all the respect, don't bring a problem to them. I need a job, help me. Bring a solution. Hey, I can help you with this. I can help alleviate the load of this 3-month project you're working on. Just give me the opportunity to help you. If you help me, I'm way more interested than you saying, hey, can you give me a job? Do you see what I'm saying? Because you saying give me a job is like another task for me. Like, okay, like I'm already maxed out on all my work. And now like I'm being asked to do more work by finding some job or something like this. So it's not going to work. You're not going to get replies and stuff like that. But if you position it as, hey, like, I'd love to help you solve some of your problems. I've got some experience. See my resume. I am in high school, but I'm hungry. I'm proactive. I take initiative. Let's do this. That'll go a long way. So yeah, the answer is yes, you can totally get a job. All right, so I do want to talk a minute about certifications. So some people will say, like basically in the industry, how do you distinguish yourself? Work experience, certifications, education. Okay, and education can come in different ways: bachelor's degree, master's degree, boot camps, self-learning, like the Try Hack Me stuff. What level on Try Hack Me have you reached? How many days in a row have you done? All these things. As far as certifications go, and I put a link to this. This is like a very, very comprehensive list of certifications in my industry, and it can be a little overwhelming, but remember, you don't need to get all of them, okay? The way you should read this is the color coding kind of maps different capabilities within the industry, and the bottom of the map is beginner level certs, and the very top is expert level certs, which is why there's fewer up there. Now, I am not a red teamer. I'm not, I'm not red. So all these certs over here, I don't have, nor am I interested in getting because they don't align with my career trajectory or my goals or anything like that. So well, let me just check the time here. I think I might have a meeting. I do at 10:30. Okay, so I'm going to answer a couple more questions here. But anyways, use this map to help you figure out what certs could actually help you. I'll just tell you right now, Security Plus down here is a very popular entry-level cert. A lot of people are, expecting to see it on entry-level stuff. There's a bunch of cloud certs over here that are worth considering. But use this certification chart to help you map what certs might be able to augment your overall resume and how to differentiate yourself against other candidates, okay? All right, so let's do a couple more here. Can I be dual enrolled somewhere and study cybersecurity? Absolutely. Why not? Go for it. All on board. What's the average monthly income in the field? What do you enjoy most about cybersecurity? Do you need to know how to code? 9th grader. Great question. So average salary depends on what industry you're in. Financial pays way more than like higher ed or retail or something like that. So it depends what industry. So it's hard to tell you that. It depends what job, right? So, a CISO, chief information security officer gets paid more than like a junior analyst. And it depends what country you're in. Right? So the United States is going to pay better than, maybe South Africa or something like that. And it depends on, how good you're negotiating and stuff like that. What I will say is for junior analysts, right? So like you just graduated college, you have limited experience. You can probably get a job. I would say like, let's say $40,000 to $75,000. That's a really huge range, but it really depends on, again, what industry, who you're supporting, what you're doing. I will say a great option is to look at professional services company. I'll give you a couple so you can find them quicker. Booz Allen, Hamilton, Deloitte, Accenture, Capgemini, KPMG, SAIC, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, You might have to move to the DC area, but Florida, probably Pensacola probably has some of this work. Anyways, those professional services companies they love to hire junior and entry-level staff to do cybersecurity work because, the business of it, frankly, is that they'll charge the government, say, $300 an hour for you, and then they'll pay you $100 an hour. So they make, mad profit off you. You make good money. But if they don't put you in the seat, they're making $0 an hour. And the less that they can pay you, the more their profit margin. So obviously, if you have more experience, like 20 years in the industry, they're going to have to pay you more than if you have 0 years in the industry, right? So all that's a long way to say it's a wonderful way to launch your career and get your first few years of experience. Those companies are all Fortune 500 companies, so they're great companies to work for. Anyways, I worked at Booz Allen for 6 years, certainly helped me quite a bit in my career. So definitely check that out. What else did you ask? What do I enjoy most about cybersecurity? Oh, I just love the field. It never gets boring. Okay, guys, it never gets boring. As I mentioned before, it's a constant cat and mouse game. I have a PhD in cyber operations. I've been working in the industry for 20 years. There is a ton of stuff I have no idea about, right? I showed you this red thing over here. Guys, I can't break in super sophisticated style into some, obscure Android mobile device, right? Like, I just can't do it. It's awesome to be able to do that, or like hack into a wireless, like a really, really well protected wireless thing, or use a drone to hack in. Like, I can't do that stuff, but I'll never get bored, because if I were to retire tomorrow, I would do that stuff just because I'm so interested in it. So there's a ton of opportunity. Obviously, the money's good. And the community is awesome. It used to be really toxic, like, oh, I'm better than you, so suck it. And now it's really, really inclusive. It's very supportive. A lot of people helping a lot of people out there. It's a really cool community. It's a very good time to be in here. That's what I love about it. Do you need to know how to code? No, you don't need to know how to code. Can it help you? Yeah. Will you eventually, use it? If you learn it, sure. If you do pick up programming language, pick up Python. That seems to be a really, in my experience, the most versatile of the languages. If you're going to be a red teamer, offensive security, that sizzle job I talked about earlier, you will want to learn how to code, because you'll need to write your own tools sometimes. You'll need to modify existing tools to work for your current situation. So I will say, if you're going to be red or blue, you should learn to program. If you're going to be GRC or something like that, you don't really need to know how to program, or architecture, like working a firewall or working mobile device management or some technology like that. You don't need to know how to program. So don't sweat that. I would do a million other things before I learned how to code. A couple more questions here. What prerequisites are needed, and what area of computer science do you need to focus on? So, I wouldn't focus on any particular area of computer science. Like, I have a computer science bachelor's degree. And computer science degrees are awesome for cybersecurity, because remember I told you earlier, like, you need to understand the basic foundations of how a computer works and how networks, how they talk to each other. That's what computer science is. Computer science, you'll spend a whole course on how a computer works. You'll spend a whole course on how computers talk to each other, a whole course on how databases work, a whole course on, well, really probably 4 courses on programming and stuff like that. So computer science degree is going to set you up for success, period, to work in cybersecurity. So, as far as focusing, I think some programs now have specialties in cybersecurity. You can get into that. But I would definitely, no matter what school you go to, guys, for higher ed, definitely focus on doing these extracurricular things, these labs. I do want to spend a minute here talking about content creation, because my understanding is y'all are interested in cybersecurity, but also YouTube and content creation, and I do quite a bit of that on Simply Cyber. So just to provide you with a couple resources, you do not need to be heavily, you don't need to invest a ton to start a YouTube channel or anything like that. What I would encourage you to do is start a YouTube channel, or something like that. You can use your phone. You can get a decent little mic to clip on and plug into the phone for $10, $15, right? A Boya, here, let me see if I can pull one up really quickly. A Boya M1, I think it's M1. Yeah, this microphone right here. How much is this thing? This is a pretty decent microphone. It's $14, okay? So you can get a decent microphone for 14 bucks. You can get like a little ring light here for, look at 20 bucks, right? 20 bucks. So for 40 bucks, you're in, right? Holidays are around the corner. For 40 bucks, you're in. And you'll basically have your phone. I'm all lit up right now, guys. If you did, look at what happens if you don't light up, right? Right, I've got a backlight now. This looks terrible. You can still see and hear me, but you need to light yourself up. People are expecting that, okay? So light yourself up, get a good mic, and then, make content. Start a YouTube channel. Guys, your first, 10 videos are going to be terrible. Don't hold yourself accountable. Just hit record and get onto it. As you begin to learn more and level up and stuff, I just want to share these resources with you because they helped me on my journey. Think Media. They have YouTube channels, tons and tons of, this is all free, by the way, right? This content will help you get started and level up. This guy right here, Nick Nimmin, he is excellent at helping you get started and level up. Roberto Blake, excellent at getting started and leveling up, okay? It's guys, there's a ton, you shouldn't have to pay for any how to do it or education. And obviously I don't have the time here to talk about all this stuff, but these 3 resources will get you started. The final thing I'll say is if you're looking for, what kind of content do I make? I don't understand what to do, right? If you're going to do this Try Hack Me or this World of Haiku, right? Complete a lab, one lab, and then make a video about it. Was it and you can do it from all different angles. Is this useful? Is Try Hack Me good? How did I complete this lab? Do a screen share. You can do it a ton of different ways, but just get out there and hit record and start doing it. But I'd also say make an outline, basic outline, intro, cover, why am I here? What did I do? Outro. And hit the bell for notifications, right? All that stuff. But if you don't have an outline, a basic outline of what you're doing, you're gonna hit record and be which is fine because we all go through that. But I'm trying to set you up for success, okay? You can make money, obviously, with YouTube, and it can help. Here's another thing. Money with YouTube is fine, but by making the YouTube videos, you start having a personal brand. And when you apply for a job or people look for you, or that thing earlier where you're asking the CISA to do a 3-month internship to help them with one project, the first thing they're going to do is Google you. And if you've got content out there about you doing cybersecurity stuff, YouTube's the #1 site on the internet. It's going to come up, and it's going to reinforce that you know what you're talking about and you know what you're doing. The final thing I'll say here is go get a LinkedIn profile. I know you're in 9th grade, and I know it seems ridiculous. LinkedIn's for old people. Well, guess what? Old people are the ones who are hiring young people, and they're going to use LinkedIn and they're going to look at it. So this is my profile, which is obviously all decked out, but just go to LinkedIn. You can use a site like Canva. Again, all links in the description below. You can say LinkedIn banner, right? I just typed a LinkedIn banner in there. Here's a million of them, right? Boom. Click on this one. Change your name to your name, right? I think this is a terrible one, but just to make it an example, your name. Get an email address that isn't spicyboy2255, at yahoo.com, or I love Fortnite, have one that's your name at gmail.com, or infosec consultant at, whatever. Just, save it off, drop it here, put a decent picture of yourself here, and start adding a little bit of this and start capturing who you are and what you do. Because to go back to my original point, you are not trying to bring a problem. You're trying to bring a solution. You want to demonstrate who you are and why you can help them. And a LinkedIn profile is absolutely huge. People are going to go to it and check it out. All right. And then the final thing is community. I'm giving you a little taste of what's going on here, whether it's content creation or cybersecurity, but there is a rich community out there. I talked about inclusion and support before. There's a rich community out there that you can take advantage of and engage with. Just to like give you an example, one, there's many, but if you go to simplycyber.io, which is my website, on the bottom, this like Discord link here, which you can't see because I'm covering it up right now here. This Discord link, this will take you to my community where I'm at, but there's many other communities. Get involved with one that you like, that works for you, and I guarantee you, you will start hearing more terminology. You will get more answers, more questions answered. You'll learn all sorts of stuff, and it's just a fantastic time to be in there. So my time's up. I really, really appreciate all the opportunity that you guys gave me. I hope you got value out of this conversation. I'm sorry that I had to do live and pre-recorded, but thank you for understanding. I hope you have a great day. Feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or Discord. DM me, tell me you saw this talk, and I can have follow-up questions. And I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Wow, what a wealth of information. And you heard it from Dr. Auger. He is offering his services. Connect with him on Discord. That's his preferred modality of connection. I know we had a couple hands raised from time to time, so connect with him on Discord. You can also submit your questions here. We'll get them over to him as quickly as possible. We know a lot of you have some burning questions, but just great information. We're definitely going to bring him back in the near future. We have this thing called the YouTuber conference. If you haven't heard of it, it's usually sometime in February. So we're going to bring him back for that for sure. But just want to give him a huge thank you for taking time out of his crazy schedule, as you can see, to meet with us, record a video just for all of you. And to answer the question about sharing the video, we're absolutely going to share his video with you so you can take some time and really break that information down. So you'll get that video shortly. Either we'll put it in the chat or we'll email it to you, but you will get the video on one way or the other. So just be sure of that. Also, we're going to go into our chat raffle next. And then after that, we have some very important upcoming events that we need to share with you. I'm going to ask everyone to hold on. Just give me 10 more minutes of your time. Don't go anywhere. The chat raffle comes with some dollars. So I'm sure you're going to be excited about that. And we're going to have multiple opportunities for you to win $20, a $20 e-gift card. But again, thank you so much to Simply Cyber, Dr. Auger. We greatly appreciate it. Okay, it's time to jump into our chat raffle. I hope you're ready. Here's how this is going to work. I'm going to ask a question. I'll repeat it twice. So I'll say it one other time. And then we're going to look in the chat for the person who has the answer. So you need to have your chat open. I'll give you 5 seconds to open up your chat, get your fingers ready, get ready to type the answer. And we're going to start with the first question in 5 seconds. All right. And I'm doing a countdown in my head. 3, 2, 1. Here is the first question. What is special about NSA CAE designated cybersecurity degrees? He mentioned this earlier. What is special about those types of degrees? Let's see who's going to come up with the answer. This course is made with, okay. All right, I'm seeing lots of answers coming in. Let me check the chat. Okay, give me a second. This is great. And those of you, just keep in mind, we have some more questions coming up.
I think the question, the response that is closest, that is correct, is from Carina. They are geared toward the cybersecurity field and are best for learning. I don't know that NSA designs them. I think they're heavily invested, but I think he did say they're definitely quality programs and also offer the potential opportunity to work for the NSA in the future. So I would lean to Carina Gonzalez as the winner for this.
Completely agree. Carina, great, fantastic. Do us a favor. Send us a direct message either to myself or Ms. Lockwood with your email address. We want to make sure your full name and email address. We want to make sure that you get your $20 e-gift card. So congratulations, Carina. Okay, we have a couple more questions. So students, there is an opportunity, another opportunity for you to win. So just hang tight. Here we go. Our second question. Are you ready? Here it is. What university won the National Collegiate Cyber? Oh, okay, looks like I didn't even have to say it. Okay. You guys saw the question in the chat and you went for it. So I'll just read the question. What university won the National Collegiate Cyber Defense National Competition in 2022? And that is correct. The answer is none other than UCF. The first person to mention that was Dominic Lindsay. So Dominic, again, do us a favor. Congratulations. Send us a direct message with your name, email address, so we can make sure that you get the $20 e-gift card. Congratulations. You just got to be quick on the draw, guys. Got to be quick with your fingers here. All right. Okay. And you're welcome, Dominic and Carina. You're welcome. All right. It's time for another question. Don't worry. We have a few more for you. There's another opportunity to win $20. Here is the next question. And we'll put it in the chat in just a second here. What are the 3 things you need to distinguish yourself? And he was very clear about these 3 pieces. There's 3 components. Oh, think I just saw it. Yep, okay. Okay, we got a lot of students who are paying attention. Fantastic. All right, so the first person to enter the correct answer is Yusuf. And please forgive me if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, but that is correct. Certifications, experience, and education. So congratulations to our third winner. Do us a favor again, full name, email address, so we can make sure you get the $20 e-gift card. And thank you so much for paying attention. We have another question coming up, and I just want to remind you, shortly we're going to have some great opportunities for you. So please, please, please stay on with us as we send this out to you. Yeah, just send us a direct message, either to myself or Miss Colleen Lockwood. Do that via chat. Do that via the chat here. All right. And the next question, are we ready? I think we are. We're going to drop the next question in the chat right now. What is one other piece of advice Dr. Auger offered? This is an easy one. Okay, tons of, I think everyone is right here. So this is interesting. I like these first 2 answers here, and he definitely mentioned it. One was just try it out, whatever the product is. The other one was learn Python. That's another thing that he mentioned that we know is just, it's a huge tool that can be used. Colleen, how do we want to go about awarding this one? Because we got so many answers, so many responses. I feel like the first 2 kind of just, he mentioned it, he said it, and I feel like that's pretty much what he was saying there. So, Colleen?
These are all fantastic responses. And we're giving the awards to the answers that came early on. But I agree with you. I think Lucas and Jashai should both win an e-gift card.
Perfect. Perfect. So Lucas and Jashai, congratulations. You've heard me say this several times already. Send us a direct message with your full name, email address, so we can make sure to get those $20 e-gift cards. And that's key. It doesn't necessarily require you to go so many places. You see something, learn it on your own, try it out, roll your sleeves up, right? That's another thing he said. Okay, I think that's it in terms of questions. Colleen, you want to go for, that was the last question. There we go. All right. So congratulations, everyone. And thank you so much. We're going to give you some amazing updates on upcoming events that we have. But just to piggyback off of something that he mentioned or that was said earlier, there's a question about how could you find out whether cybersecurity classes are offered at your school. We know that a lot of you have been asking that question. So here's the deal. Cybersecurity pathway courses are specifically offered at about 8 Broward County high schools. If it's not offered at your school, then what you want to do is you want to ask for that class, right, through a cybersecurity teacher or counselor, school counselor rather. Reach out to them and say, hey, this is something that I'm interested in. Also, we recommend all students take computer science classes. I said cybersecurity, computer science classes. So reach out to your computer science teachers. We also encourage you to take computer science classes, and don't be afraid of the advanced placement computer science principles course as a foundational course. Even in the 9th grade, and you heard Dr. Auger talk about this, he mentioned it several times. Why wait? Start when you're in the 9th grade and move forward with all that. All computer science courses, even elementary, include cybersecurity components. So that's why we're pushing those computer science courses. So talk to your computer science teacher, go to your counselors, push, push, push. Okay, as I mentioned before, we have some upcoming events. Tomorrow, huge college fair happening right here in Broward County at Nova Southeastern University in Davie. We're gonna have dozens upon dozens of colleges and universities here to talk to you, you name it, colleges and universities in Florida, outside of Florida. They're gonna be here to talk to you one-on-one. It starts at 6 p.m., ends at 8 p.m. We're asking that everybody get there around 5:45. You want to get there even earlier for the sake of parking. Bring your parents. If we have any parents that are on, you're more than welcome to attend this as well. This is our Broward County College Fair, and it's open to all grades 9th through 12th. We even have some middle school students that come out too. That's tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Nova Southeastern University. There's also a live esports tournament happening this Saturday, October 29th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I believe we have with us, I haven't looked at the list to see if she's still on, but Dr. Milenkovic, I believe she is on or was on. Yes, I see her. Just wanted to know if this was something that Dr. Milenkovic, you wanted to discuss in a little bit more detail, give you the floor to go over some of this information for Saturday. I don't see. Okay, perfect.
I'm sitting in the dark. I'm going to put in the chat to register, be a spectator. Excuse me, just to be an attendee. We have our competitors ready, maybe some are on the line, but it's our first time having a live competition where you can actually come and watch and have fun. So stop by Ely. I'm going to put that link in the chat. Hopefully we'll see you on Saturday morning.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And it's at Blanche Ely High School. So big shout out to Blanche Ely. Again, that's this Saturday. Spectator seats are available. Come check out an esports tournament. Then for our seniors that are in the house, high school seniors, we're hosting a college admissions fair next Tuesday, November 1st at Broward College Central Campus. It starts at 5 p.m. If you're planning on applying to FIU, FAU, Nova Southeastern University, or Broward College, we will have admissions reps and recruiters there to assist you with your application, general questions, admissions and onboarding, etc. They'll be there to work with you one-on-one in person. And then if you're applying for any other university or college, if you're gonna fill out the Common App, whatever it is, we'll have some of your favorite BRACE advisors there as well to walk you through that process. So again, that's tomorrow, 5 to 7 p.m. at Central Campus. And for those of you that are looking for all of these events and updates, just go to Bridge to Life SFL, our Instagram account. Make sure to follow us on our Instagram account. We'll follow you back as soon as we can. And then last but not least, we have an aviation event on November 12th at our South Campus, at Broward College South Campus. So if you want to learn more about the automotive industry, marine technology, or aviation, you can meet with some of our deans, industry experts, as well as employers. There's going to be a number of employers there. Plus, as an addition, we're having a drone exhibition. So you're going to learn how to fly some drones, the coding that is required to fly those drones. And that is Saturday, November 12th. Again, follow Bridge to Life SFL on Instagram. Also follow Broward STEM for more information and updates on all of these. We'll give you a couple more seconds to follow us and to take a screenshot of this. And we again want to just thank all of you for coming out tonight. We greatly appreciate you for registering, taking your time to meet with us. Hopefully this information was as valuable as we think it is, but just wanted to thank you for that. So we gave you enough time to follow us. Hopefully everyone's doing that and you've done it. Fantastic. Also, just as a reminder, we're going to grab your questions share those with Dr. Auger, and he'll get to it as soon as he can. And we can't thank him enough for coming out tonight and just loading us up with information. Again, thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow at the college fair. And Colleen, any last words before we conclude?
Right, Tron, I just put in the chat a recording that Dr. Auger prepared. The link to that recording is in the chat. And if you go to that recording, all of the resources that he mentioned are in the bio on that recording. So you can go and find Hack Me and all those other things he talked about. And then we will post the recording from tonight on this entire meeting on our YouTube channel later this evening. So no, thank you all so much.
All right, everyone, have a wonderful day, have a wonderful afternoon. And again, high school students, come out tomorrow to the college fair, meet with your admissions reps, selected schools, and I'll even be there too. So come check us out. Love to talk to you, love to see you in person, and follow Bridge to Life if you haven't already in Broward STEM. Have a great day, everyone. Bye now.